Let's go.
Sunderland were racked with injuries coming into this game. Added to that, those who remained would be tired, with Michel Mba having played 3 games in 6 days and Amad travelling the equivalent of halfway around the world with the Ivory Coast. On top of this, we were up against the runaway leaders of the division in Burnley, who are the division's highest scorers with 75 goals, have scored at home in the last 25 straight games, a run going back to the start of April last year when they failed to score against Man City in the Premier League. They haven't lost at home all season in this division and have racked up an average of over 2 goals a game at home, scoring 43 goals in under 20 games at Turf Moor. But Sunderland have been good on the road and are the division's 4th top scorers themselves. Not bad for a team playing most of the season without a striker. Still, the odds were stacked. Vincent Kompany has gained many admirers for Burnley's style of play this season, and we've learnt a lot about how he sets his teams up. Largely, their effectiveness begins in defence. They always play the ball out from the back, with the goalkeeper often looking like he slips into a back 4 as play begins. This allows the defensive unit of the back 4 to slide into a back 3, meaning that usually the right back, Connor Roberts, pushes forward into midfield, but not in an overlapping sense like we do, but as another central midfielder. This gives Burnley a numeric advantage in midfield to move the ball up, and as play is closed down, it exposes space for their wingers to attack higher up the pitch. This is an aggressive style of play and creates a number of problems for opposing teams who often have to choose between leaving wingers free to being overwhelmed in midfield. Just look at this play here. Burnley's positioning is so fluid in the initial build-up. This is Cullen and Brownhill here. They are the central midfield defensive pair, and the right-back Roberts is actually up here.
A lot in the way of support for him.
This movement makes it very difficult for teams out of possession to know what to do. Most choose to retreat, looking for certainty in the play, because if you don't, and you get covering off that fluid midfield and the wingers wrong, you can be opened up very quickly.
You will notice that there is a real fluidity about this Burnley formation, 4-2-3-1 at times, but other times they just really flood the midfield. That's a clumsy challenge on Zorori that will bring us a
However,
free.
this style of play does provide opportunities for teams who are competent and willing to be brave. With Burnley playing out from the back and their right-back advancing, the obvious areas to attack are in pressing high to stifle the beginning of Burnley's attack and force their release of the ball.
Sunderland putting pressure on the Burnley defenders.
And into the space behind Roberts if we can win the ball in transition in the midfield.
Neil looking left at Clarke. Need a better first touch there, Jack Clarke.
Here's another example of a ball when in midfield where Clarke has that space behind Burnley's right back. He's not chosen for the pass this time though.
Initially by Gelhardt, then by Neil. And this is lovely for Roberts.
So today, Mowbray sent his side out to press extremely high in an effort to break up Burnley's play and deny them the midfield advantage of Roberts moving up. This worked very, very well, as Sunderland pressed as a team extremely high and forced several errors from Burnley, who couldn't get their style going as a result.
Got himself in the penalty areas away from Roberts. He's done brilliantly. Brownhill able to clear for Burnley. And it's Sunderland who are asking most of the questions at the moment.
Added to that, there was some robust performances in defence when Burnley did get the ball forward. Lyndon Gooch, deployed today as a left-back, was simply outstanding all game. He was only beaten once in the first half and threw himself in the way of shots on several occasions all game.
And for Brownhill! And the deflection takes it over. Sunderland with 2 players throwing their bodies in the way. Gooch was one, Pritchard the other.
And when Nathan Tella moved over to the left in the second half, he found a surprisingly pacey Luke O'Nien, who refused time and again to let Tella have any space or ball. The Championship's 3rd top scorer, with the 2nd best goal conversion rate in the division, was barely allowed a sniff of the ball today. In all, it was an excellent effort by the back 4 to pen in Tella. Up front, it was another miserable afternoon for Joe Gelhardt. He works hard, steals the ball in the tackle sometimes, but really he just isn't made for this team and seems unable to adapt to what is required. Often running away from the goal and all too easily pushed off the ball instead of running into the channels, like here for example. He could run in behind the fullback, offering the attacking pass. Instead, he offers a hold-up ball with his back a long way from goal and is all too easily shoved off it. Too much too young, perhaps. Too rarely does he stretch the attack, and when chances do come his way, he seems unable to get a shot off. In the 11 games since he joined us, he has averaged close to 1 shot on target every 2 games. By any standard, that's woeful. Certainly wasn't a surprise to see him substituted on the hour mark. Mowbray often gets criticised for his substitutes and their timing, but there surely cannot be any argument about them today. He brought on Mishu and Amad on the hour mark, followed by Lihaji and Bar in 75 minutes, and then Sirkin for the last 8, all of which enabled Sunderland to deliver fresh legs in a tiring game to keep up their high press across the field. And without it, we may not have managed the game so well.
A couple of French kids.
And better than that, we nearly nicked it. Amad struck the bar shortly after coming on.
Pritchard into the path of Roberts. Roberts now for Amad. Deflection against the bar. And Muric gets so lucky. Amad Diallo, who's only just come off the bench. Is Roberts offside there? Burnley felt he might have been. But then they get really lucky because Muric could only watch that as it sails over his head. And back off the bar into his grateful hands. Sunderland very close to getting the first goal, but here's...
And 7 minutes from time, Jack Clarke had the ball in the net.
The box, Danny Bart wants a piece of this. He's the most likely source of a headed goal, but Sunderland have gone short. Now Clarke with a chance to centre. It goes low and it's in! Sunderland have scored! But it won't count. Natalie Aspinall.
But Abdullah Bar was clearly offside, impeding Muric's sight, so it was scored off.
Abdullah Bar, number 17 there, in an offside position. Does he get a touch? Or does he just impede the view that Muric had of it?
Overall, the lads really pushed it to the limit tonight and showed some utter exhaustion at the final whistle as a result. It was a very creditable draw with a weakened side against the best team in the league. Before you go, why not click top left right now just to see my little tribute to the immense defensive performance against Burnley this evening. Enjoy, and see you next time. If you made it this far, well, thanks for watching. Give me a thumbs up, I guess, if you liked it. Share, subscribe if you liked it a lot, and you'll get a notification when the next one of these reviews comes out. Thanks a lot.